What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we are here for an NXT review for last night's episode, November 13, 2019. NXT on the road to WarGames and Survivor Series. How are they going to be able to balance building for both? And honestly, they really didn't do much for Survivor Series. Outside of about a minute and a half ending to the show, this was really just a build towards NXT TakeOver WarGames, and quite honestly, I don't know what they're going to do for Survivor Series when it comes to NXT because they're going to have Raw vs. SmackDown vs. NXT in the men and women's divisions for a 5-on-5-on-5 match. I don't know why you would do a 5-on-5-on-5 elimination, but that's what they're going to do. But I don't know what they're going to do with that. WarGames, of course, coming up. You have Undisputed Era versus Team Ciampa. You have Shayna Baszler's team versus Team Rhea Ripley. How are they going to be able to balance these? Honestly, they're doing their best. And quite honestly, coming out of this, you would have forgot from the start of the show till about the tail end of the show that is NXT even a part of Survivor Series, because there really wasn't anything with it. There was a couple teases tonight of things that we still don't have the full answers to. We'll get into that in a minute. We had a Cruiserweight Championship title match on this show. We had a ladder match to see who would get advantage in the women's WarGames match. And we found out, surprisingly, who was the fourth member of Team Shayna Baszler. And I honestly think every single one of us, nobody saw this coming. I made a prediction last week that it was going to be Dakota Kai, who was incensed. The fact that she wanted to be in that WarGames match so badly. She wanted to be on Team Rhea Ripley with her best friend, Tegan Knox, and go out there and represent this women's evolution, women's division, and just be part of history. And she would do it by any means necessary. And boy, was I wrong. So was everybody else. I guarantee, if anybody says that they saw who came out to join Team Shayna Baszler, she was going to come out and she was going to be a part of Team Shayna Baszler, I'm going to call you a fucking liar. Because I'm telling you right now, nobody saw this coming. This is the great thing about NXT. That is two within a month that NXT has surprised us with something when Finn Balor's heel turn to who joined Team Shayna Baszler. Little note here, Team Tommaso Ciampa is still not full because, unfortunately, due to Johnny Gargano's injury that apparently happened when he was given the Bloody Sunday by Finn Balor a couple weeks ago, he is out with a neck injury, and for the first time in what seems like 3 years or so, Johnny Gargano will not be part of NXT TakeOver WarGames. He's been at every TakeOver for at least the last 2 or 3 years. So he's going to miss out due to a neck injury, so a member of Team Tommaso Ciampa will be taking his place as that person has been removed from the WarGames match. It is sad to see Johnny Gargano have to be take off time for an injury. I never want to see anybody happen to be told that they cannot wrestle or do what they want to do at any moment of time. So Johnny Gargano, I hope, has a speedy recovery because he is going to be missed. TakeOver, just like when Tommaso Ciampa disappeared at TakeOver, was not there for TakeOver New York, and that match between Gargano and Adam Cole happened, it just didn't feel right because it wasn't Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano one last time. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and here we are now. However, yes, it's going to be Johnny Gargano being gone from TakeOver this coming up is definitely going to be one of those, wow, this is not going to feel the same, even though TakeOver will be amazing, as it always mostly is. We started the show off with Angel Garza and Lio Rush. This was a Cruiserweight Championship title match. This, of course, stems from last week when Tony Nese took on Angel Garza. The winner takes on Lio Rush. My opinion, and quite honestly, this match could have been on a TakeOver because I think Angel Garza and Lio Rush are both ready for a TakeOver. This could have been your one and only title match happening at NXT TakeOver WarGames. Unfortunately, they put it here. And if you look at what happened during NXT at the start of the show and AEW when they started their show, you start the show off and you start AEW off with Michael Nakazawa and Jon Moxley just seeing Michael Nakazawa there. Wonder how many people in that opening segment switched the channel to NXT, because NXT was putting on Lio Rush and Angel Garza. Yes, this ratings have proved that if people are watching NXT, they're watching NXT. They're not flipping back and forth. This isn't the Monday Night Wars. This isn't 1994, 1995, 1996, something like that, where if somebody was watching Raw and they're like, you know what, I'm tired of this, let's see what's happening on the other show. Or if I'm watching Nitro, this is getting boring, let's see what the other show's doing. That's not happening nowadays. So it would have been interesting to see what happened at that time. Maybe people went, well, Michael Nakazawa is not somebody you want to deal with or want to see because he's not somebody you're supposed to take seriously. How many people would have switched over to watch Lio Rush and Angel Garza? I don't know. I don't have those numbers. I do know the ratings. We'll talk about those on Sunday. But this was a really good match. Lio Rush and Angel Garza. Angel Garza, towards the beginning of this match, is they're going back and forth. Angel Garza ducks, I believe, a drop kick, just does the bye-bye wave to him. He rolls out of the ring, jumps over the barricade. Lio Rush's family is sitting over by where Angel Garza is, so he rips his tights off and throws him down by Lio Rush's family. This gets Lio Rush incensed. He's pissed off. How dare you do that? How dare you go over and do that around my family? So he suicide dives outside and starts taking it to Angel Garza. Angel Garza and Lio Rush worked well together. Rush goes for the springboard stunner, but Angel Garza with a drop kick to the back of the head. That looked absolutely brutal. Dueling chance, and Garza goes for a super wing clipper from the corner, but Lio Rush fights out of that and just starts head-butting the hell out of him to where he eventually just, falls down. And as he's falling down, his legs come up because he was in the wing clipper and scoop Angel Garza and throw Angel Garza off the top turnbuckle. Rush brings Garza back to the mat with a Hurricane Rana. Rush goes to the top, hits the final hour for a close 2 count. He goes back up, hits another final hour, but this time Lio Rush hits him while he was near the ropes. Angel Garza's bottom foot hits the bottom rope. It's actually on the bottom rope. Lio Rush, wary of this, pulls it off as the referee doesn't see it. 1, 2, 3. Immediately, Angel Garza sits up and like, what the hell? How did he pin me? My foot was on the rope. How did he pin me? Fans in Full Sail are some of the most vocal fans you are going to have. They picked up on this immediately. And there were boos. People were just hating on this. I don't know if they were hating on the fact that Lio Rush won. I think they're just hating on the fact that the match ended so screwy. So, is this going to be the last time we see Lio Rush and Angel Garza one-on-one for the Cruiserweight title? I don't think so, simply because they left you that back door that Angel Garza had his foot on the rope while the referee was counting. Rush pulled it off before ref hit 3, and Rush won, even though Angel Garza knows that he had his foot on the bottom rope. Camera cuts out backstage, and we see Tegan Nox and Rhea Ripley are just wiped out. They are laid out. We don't know what's going on. You have people everywhere. This would be a theme through the entire night. They send us a video package how Women's Champion Baszler has left Path of Destruction on her way to Survivor Series. They announced tonight's ladder match between Shirai and Mia Yim. Again, there was hardly any, this, and I think the very end of the show was the only, hints. And, of course, Adam Cole talking himself up about what he did on Raw and SmackDown. Not much really made me feel like, wow, Survivor Series is happening. Last week, and the ratings showed it too, last week showed that the OC helped NXT's rating majorly. This week, there was only a little sliver of a retaliation from Raw or SmackDown at the very end of the show, and the ratings show that, but that NXT again lost in the ratings by a wider margin than they did last week. Xia Li versus Aaliyah. This match was nothing special. The biggest talking point of this match is at the end when Xia Li hits a roundhouse kick. Aaliyah has both of her arms up to do as much protecting as she can to take this spot. But she gets hit with the roundhouse kick, 1, 2, 3. She's holding her like Aaliyah has both of her hands over her nose, and you know something happened and fucked up because doctors are running down like before Aaliyah is able to get up. You see doctors running into the ring, like white towel in hand, putting it over her. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know if like Aaliyah's forearm or something was pushed into her nose, but she was bleeding profusely. Not good. Just hope Aaliyah's okay. Not a big fan of her character, of her at all. But hopefully she will be like okay, because no reason to ever want to see somebody bleed like that. We lead to a video package of Killian Dane versus Pete Dunne. We see Dane backstage warming up because they're going to have a match later in the night. Back from break, and Finn Balor come to a pop. Balor plays the cool heel as he marches to the ring, posing with his finger with the guns to the camera. Balor takes the mic, and to a mixed reaction, he says, "Is this it? This is NXT now? What happened to this place? What happened to this business? This business I loved. I used to be proud of this place, but now it's just a joke." Johnny Gargano was the heart of NXT. He was what all the hype was about. All the hype was for. He built this. I built this place. Then a bunch of little boys moved in, all crying on social media and looking for sympathy from everyone when they get hurt. Don't get him started. Don't get me even started on Matt Riddle, who got dropped last week and hasn't been seen since. I'm begging for someone to step into the ring with me. And all of a sudden, Riddle, out of nowhere, comes in and drops Finn Balor. Riddle unloads on Balor as the bro chants come through Full Sail. Balor fights out of the corner and takes the Brawl to the floor. They go into the barrier and Riddle kicks Balor over to the crowd. Balor retreats as Riddle takes the mic and taunts him, and Riddle, he says, "Come on, Balor, come on, you little putz." Having somebody in WWE say little putz in 2019, did you think you would hear that? He says, "Right here, right now, and out come the Undisputed Era." Riddle gets into the middle of the ring. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong, they focus on the ring. Cole takes the mic and says, "Riddle, wrong place, wrong time." They look to have a 4-on-1 beatdown. Ciampa's music hits, and out comes Ciampa and Keith Lee. They join Riddle in the ring. Cole asks if they're stupid and saw what happened on SmackDown and Raw. And we are the most dominant force of all of WWE. Lee gets the mic and says he doesn't give a damn. He invites them into the ring for a fight, and how the Undisputed Era stood toe to toe with main roster superstars. But will Cole face off with me now? Strong gets a mic and yells at Lee and defends Cole, calling Lee an idiot and a big dummy. Fans boo as Strong goes on about Cole deserving a night off. Strong says, "If you're going to deal with anybody, you're going to deal with me." He says, "I'm not picky." And just wants this fight. Fans starting for Lee as the two sides face off. Several referees run down to get in between the two. Everyone else gets down from the Undisputed Era. Riddle and Ciampa leave, and Keith Lee goes over and pulls Roderick Strong over to get this match underway. Now, I know Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are a tag team, but we've seen at least a portion of Matt Riddle versus Keith Lee. There are 16 combinations or 15 combinations you can do to battle for this entire WarGames match right now. Could we have gotten somebody else other than Roderick Strong and Keith Lee? Keith Lee versus Kyle O'Reilly. Keith Lee versus Bobby Fish. I think that would have been a much better match. Even though I'm not saying the match was bad, I'm just saying it's like we've already seen this match a couple times, so it would have been great to see maybe an Adam Cole, maybe Kyle O'Reilly or Bobby Fish, but it is what it is. This was a really good match. Roderick Strong is just one of those sleepers that he's like a sleeper hit in NXT. He doesn't get as much credit, I feel, that Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, or Adam Cole even get. I just feel like Roderick Strong should get a lot more credit than he does. This guy just goes out there and gives you a hell of a match every single time. And again, these two went out there. They gave you a hell of a match. Towards the end of the match, Matt Riddle and everyone got sent to the back. Everybody out there except for Keith Lee and Roderick Strong. Did you really think that was going to be the end of the night for everybody else? Of course not. Basically what happens is Adam Cole, Bonifish, Kyle O'Reilly come down to the ramp, but Ciampa attacks. Ciampa runs over O'Reilly, but Cole drops him with a super kick. Matt Riddle is also out there taking down Fish and leaping off the steps, taking him down. Finn Balor out of nowhere with a sling blade and a double stomp onto Riddle. Balor with a drop kick in the steel steps to Riddle. Lee watches as Balor backs up the ramp, staring at Riddle. Strong takes advantage and hits a jumping knee, then a body slam for a close 2 count. Strong lands a senton, but Lee lifts him up for a big jackhammer slam. Lee holds it and covers for the 1, 2, 3. Keith Lee is your winner. After the bell, the Undisputed Era attack, but Ciampa makes say the Undisputed Era get the upper hand, and all of a sudden, Dominic Dijakovic comes out and starts dropping bodies. Dijakovic with a super kick to Cole and a double chokeslam to tag team champions. Dijakovic keeps fighting and takes Cole out with the Feast Your Eyes. He stands tall. Fans chant WarGames as Dijakovic approaches Ciampa and says, "You want a war? You want to go to war? I'm in." They shake hands. Then he turns right around and face to face with Lee. Fans are chanting, "Hug it out," but they only shake. Fans go crazy for that. Lee, Ciampa, and Dijakovic stand tall in the middle of the ring as Undisputed Era watches from the stage. 2 problems with everything, because it is announced later that you figured, oh, this is going to be it. Your 4 are going to be Riddle, Ciampa, Dijakovic, and Keith Lee. No. Matt Riddle has been removed from the match. He's going to be taking on Finn Balor at NXT TakeOver WarGames, so there's still a slot open, and that slot to me is going to be the Velveteen Dream. It's the only one that makes sense. There really is nobody else in WWE NXT that makes any sense to be going in WarGames outside of the Velveteen Dream. He's the only person left who isn't injured or isn't seen right now, other than Johnny Gargano, who has had problems with the Undisputed Era. So, since Matt Riddle's out, Velveteen Dream's in, which I kind of figured was always going to be the case. The only reason Matt Riddle has been removed and Dijakovic was put in his place is simply because Johnny Gargano is injured and will not be wrestling at TakeOver, which absolutely sucks. My problem is that you have Dijakovic and Keith Lee. These 2 have been rivals for, I don't know, a better part of 7 or 8 months. They've been going back and forth, wanting to take each other out, and now they're supposed to just shake hands, and that's it. That is it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Dijakovic, and that's another thing. The biggest thing that this was all going to be leading to is that the 4 guys on the opposite side of the Undisputed Era, outside of the 6-man, the triple threat match for the North American title, Dijakovic really hasn't had any problems with the Undisputed Era. Like, why he is just being thrust into this, to me, part of the Undisputed Era, makes no sense to me. But it should be a good match, and can't wait to see. I'm counting on... I was wrong about the end of the night tonight. I am not going to be wrong about this. Velveteen Dream is the only guy that makes sense who's not injured. Pete Dunne's already going to deal with dealing with other people, so he doesn't make any sense this time around. It's got to be Velveteen Dream. Back from break, and the announcers are talking when we cut backstage, and Marina Shafir, Jessamine Duke, Candice LeRae are all laid out backstage. Triple H is in on this, is out here too, checking on everybody. And you can definitely, Scarlett Bordeaux makes her TV debut as she's checking on Candice LeRae. That looked like to me Scarlett Bordeaux. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was Scarlett. Anyway, she's checking on Candice LeRae. Triple H comes over and he starts yelling at security, lock all the doors, tighten this up, nobody gets in or out until we figure out what the hell is going on. Isaiah Scott versus Bronson Reed was your next match. This was a battle of 2 members of the Breakout Tournament. 2 guys who probably would have taken the winning the Breakout Tournament in better stride than that jackass, Jordan Miles, which we'll talk about that on Sunday, because that guy just showed up that he is a piece of shit. Anyway, these guys back and forth here, Bronson Reed and Isaiah Scott. This is what NXT is about. Getting guys like Isaiah Scott and Bronson Reed. This is what NXT was originally supposed to be about. Getting these guys the ability to go out there, who are ready for TV, to go out there, show their stuff, win, lose, or draw, to go out there and make themselves into bigger names, so when the time comes and they go up against a Tommaso Ciampa, a Johnny Gargano, a Matt Riddle, a Keith Lee, a member of the Undisputed Era, they are a viable threat and could possibly beat those said members of the big names. So, hell of a match here between these two. Isaiah Swift Scott would get the win on this one. Scott worked over Reed to keep him down, focusing on his left arm. Reed throws Scott to the mat. Scott with a running back elbow in the corner. Scott keeps control, but Reed catches him with a sit-out spine buster. Reed with the Morai driver for a close 2 count. More back and forth. Reed can't hit a powerbomb, and Scott unloads with some strikes. Reed drops down, but Scott moves, and he lands hard. Scott with the house call, which I think is a spinning. I think is a spinning back kick. 1, 2, 3. Isaiah Swerve Scott is your winner. After the match, Scott recovers. We go to replays, and then we come back, and him and Reed are in the middle of the ring. They shake hands, say a couple words to each other, ear to ear. We can't hear what they say. And that was that. Kathy Kelly is near the stage as we come back, as they do hype up the women's ladder match for later in the show. Kathy Kelly says both locker rooms are on edge because of the mystery attacks tonight. She has breaking news from the office of NXT General Manager William Regal, as Matt Riddle vs. Finn Balor will take place at WarGames. But with that said, Riddle will be replaced by Dominik Dijakovic in WarGames match. There will be no word yet on the final Team Ciampa member. We go to commercial break. It was also announced that Adam Cole will take on Dijakovic in a men's ladder match next week. The winner will be getting advantage for the men's WarGames match. So I fully expect us to find out who is going to be member number 4 next week. We get a vignette for the Forgotten Sons. Who cares? Honestly, the Forgotten Sons are not used enough for people to really give a damn. I know I don't. And I like Jackson Ryker back when he was Gunner in Impact. I don't really care about Jackson Ryker right now. Killian Dane versus Pete Dunne. This match never got underway as Dane is coming out. He is attacked from behind by Damian Priest. Priest stomps on Dane as Dunne watches from the ring. Dunne exits the ring and they brawl. All three brawl around. Security run down to break up the fight as fans boo. Dane and Dunne fight security off as does Priest. Dane rolls Dunne into the ring. Priest slams Dane into the steel steps. Priest takes out Dane and sends him to the floor. Priest takes out both takes out Dunne and sends him over the top with a crucifix bomb, taking out a group of security guards. Dane and Dane at ringside. Dane and Dunne start brawling the outside, but Priest runs over and hits a step up tope con hilo from the outside from the second rope, taking Dane and Dunne down. Priest stands tall as fans chant his name, and we go to replays. Priest heads to the stage and looks back as the carnage and his music hits. So it looks like we are going to have at WarGames Killian Dane, Damian Priest, and Pete Dunne in a triple threat match. Will this be for anything? Will this... if you want to do this right, make this a number 1 contenders match for Roderick Strong or Adam Cole's NXT Championship. Either for the North American Championship or the NXT Championship. That's what you need to do. Give this some reason to happen instead of these three just hate each other. Give me a fucking stipulation. I don't care. Backstage medium is she isn't worried about Raw or SmackDown superstars attacking her because NXT is the main roster. She said, Ciampa said it right last week. We are the main roster. She's talking a little bit more and then we hear a knock on the door. Dakota Kai walks in and makes it clear that there are no hard feelings over Yin being picked for Team Rhea Ripley. Kai says, if anything goes to the night, I just want to let you know I got your back. She walks off, and you can just see in Mia Yim's eyes that she's like, I'm sure what you just told me was the truth. I'm sure you're actually being truthful. From here, right here, you had it all set up perfectly. So everyone else outside of Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, Shayna Baszler, and Mia Yim and Dakota Kai, everybody else was laid out. That was important. Everybody else was laid out. Who would be the one to join Team Shayna Baszler on this night? You had everybody. I don't want anyone else to tell me that they saw otherwise because you're lying through your fucking teeth. If you think anybody else but Dakota Kai was going to be the one to be joining Team Shayna Baszler. Mia Yim versus Io Shirai. This was there were people actually asking. I listened to Wrestling Observer Radio earlier today, and somebody actually asked, were they trying to outdo Moxley and Omega from Full Gear? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? There was only 2 brutal spots in this match. The first one was Mia Yim decides she's gonna grab. It was towards the end of the match. She was going to grab the ladder and hold it straight to her face. Turn around and have Io Shirai drop kick the ladder into her face, busting the bridge of her nose open, so she might have a broken nose. She might not even be in War Games. And then the other one was the end of the match when the 4th member of Team Shayna came in and shoved her off of the ladder, sending her through another ladder, looking like she just died. So no, they were not trying to top Moxley and Omega. To anybody who thought that, you are an idiot. So a typical ladder match here, nothing else here. You have like a bunch of suplexes, them using the ladders. Io Shirai at one time looks to sandwich Mia Yim through between the ladder and slam it down on her. But for some reason she decided, I'm going to pull the ladder all the way back up and slam it down. And in doing that, the ladder on one of the things that keep it together, one of the metal pieces that bend down, it straightened up. So when she yanked it back down, she ended up breaking the ladder. So she had to go into the ring and get another ladder, shove the other ladder out of the ring, so when Mia Yim took that fall, that ladder was there. So we're getting to the end of this match. Io Shirai looks like she's going to win this. Dakota Kai has already come out here. I'm thinking, it's over. Here we go. Dakota Kai is going to win this, and is going to help Io Shirai win this match, and then she doesn't. Io Shirai is going to climb up this thing, but Dakota Kai comes in and just powerbombs her. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? Then Io Shirai is out of the match. She's gone. She's dead right now. Mia Yim's climbing back up, busted nose and all. She was bleeding. You could tell after she had her face get busted open that Io Shirai was stalling for time, because you had like 4 or 5 referees in the ring trying to get this blood down to where Io Shirai could continue. The female referee is over by Io Shirai talking to her. Io she's using her back to get this ladder standing straight up because she's selling an arm injury from earlier in the match. Just slowly gets this thing open. She falls back down, selling the arm some more, just doing everything she can to buy time for Mia. So it's just the way that they covered it. It looked fine. Then again, Mia looks like she's going to win this match. And all of a sudden, you see the NXT UK Women's Champion, Kaylee Ray, come out, shove Dakota Kai into the steel steps. She gets up there, she grabs the ladder, shoves Mia Yim off of the ladder, through that other ladder on the outside. They pan over to Mia Yim. She looked absolutely devastated, like she died. She looked like she literally died. She helps up Io Shirai. Io Shirai wins the ladder match. And after the match, Shirai stands tall on the ladder with briefcase and the music hits. Ray stands tall. We go to replays. By that time, we see Team Baszler has the advantage of WarGames. Bianca Belair is in the ring now as well, standing on the ladder as Shirai stands tall in the briefcase. Shirai actually was trying to, Shirai had a freaking out moment for herself, because she grabbed the ladder and the briefcase. She went to position herself so she could sit on the ladder, and she literally looked like she was close to falling off, which that was kind of funny. But out comes Shayna Baszler. She's clapping and everything. She's just standing there while her team, I guess Kaylee Ray is on her team. All of a sudden, wow, I forgot. Yeah, the women are going to be at Survivor Series. Shayna Bayley comes from behind and just whacks Shayna Baszler in the back, hits her with whatever the hell she's calling her new finisher, and lays Shayna Baszler out. So after weeks of being punked out by Shayna Baszler, Bayley finally she gave her receipt to Shayna Baszler. She powders away. She gets out of there. So apparently, Bayley has went roughshod on everybody, taking out Rhea Ripley, taking out Tegan Nox, taking out Candice LeRae, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir. I don't buy Bayley was the only one at this. I don't even think Kaylee Ray was a part of this. She might have been the one who took out Candice LeRae, not Candice, but Tegan Knox and Rhea Ripley. But I don't buy that not Tegan Knox, but I don't buy that Bayley was the only person who did this. But I don't know. Maybe they'll show this security footage next week because Triple H did want the security footage to see who the hell did this. So NXT will be interesting to see what happens on the Go Home show because they don't have just one show that they got to build towards and they're doing better than I thought they would. They had 2 shows and the other shows they're really not building towards. So I don't know what they're going to do. But that is your NXT review for November 13th, 2019. Another good show for NXT. If you want to watch some good wrestling, watch Raw. No. Watch SmackDown. No. Watch NWA Power and AEW Dark on Tuesday, if it's still on Tuesday, because it was on Tuesday and Friday last week. But Power and Dark, AEW's on TNT show, and NXT on Wednesday. Those are the shows that you should be watching. If you want to watch Impact 2, I don't watch Impact because I'd fallen out of Impact a while ago and haven't gone back. But check out those shows right there. Forget about Raw and SmackDown. They were absolute garbage. But NXT, again, has one more week to go before we get to TakeOver. And we'll have to see what happens there. The one that's going to be interesting is, since TakeOvers have happened, the NXT show, well, since they've been moving, since they moved out of Full Sail, the NXT show after TakeOver used to be the Aftermath show, which was 2 matches, taped, and a bunch of highlight packages for what happened at TakeOver. What is going to happen, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that? How is that going to be done for NXT? That is going to be something that's going to be interesting to see. But I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown, Sunday for the Unscripted, and then, of course, Monday, we're back to Monday Night Boring. Monday Night Raw, the most boring show on TV. Until then, my name is Franz, and I'll see you guys later.